Catwoman number 15, written by Ann Nesenti, art by Rafa Sandoval. This is part of the quote-unquote crossover of the Black Diamond probability. And we open up with Catwoman, who has bought a new bike, a cat bike. And it is literally shaped like a giant panther or something. They don't use it, so I don't know why it's here. Anyway, Catwoman arrives and meets up with her friend Gwen outside of this apartment building in Gotham where some rich people live. And it turns out there's this new app that if any rich teenager posts on Facebook saying they're throwing a party, she'll get an alert so that they can go rob during the party their rich parents' stuff. So they got an alert. They're going up to the penthouse. And this doorman tries to stop them because they're not on the list, but they don't care at all. So they make their way up. Party's going crazy. They make their way back into a vault. And two guys stop them as they're rustling through all the stuff, saying like, oh, hey, we're going to give a citizen's arrest, whatnot, unless, you make out with us or more. And so Catwoman starts to get a little naked, and then she uses some weapons that she brought along to basically pin the guys down. They bust out the window, go down to the ground floor, just in time for Detective Alvarez to show up. And Catwoman's like, oh yeah, remember? He's part of my run, I guess. But he didn't even recognize her. So as they're trying to leave, the doorman stops him, and Catwoman bribes him with a diamond statue or something. So that amounts to absolutely nothing. We go to a hospital where the kid from the last two issues that she managed to free from the Joker is in the hospital, and Catwoman gives him, it's Milo, a teddy bear, and says, this is an ugly teddy bear, and the reason it's ugly is that no one will ever try to take it from you, because inside its stomach is like some very valuable things for when you get older. And he's like, I love you, Catwoman. So then we go to a motel where she's making out with her fence, because why not? And the guy's like, hey, got another job for you. Biggest payday of all time. But if I were you, I'd turn it down. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. What's up? And it turns out they've got this weird liquid goo thing that sorts out a map or something of Argus facilities. And deep in Argus, there's a black room that has a whole bunch of magical objects. And inside there is a black diamond. And somebody wants it, and Catwoman's like, well, I can do it. And he's like, no, don't do it. And she's like, I'm gonna. So we go to outside the black room where Catwoman has already managed to get all these forged documents that literally nobody in government could see through. And just like, all right, you are a cartologist who studies maps to do something. And we are going to let you look at some maps that are rare down here. And she's like, thank you so much. I'm a professor, by the way. And she then walks in and meets up with the guy who's going to be her kind of guide the whole way through, named Darwin, who is the professional assistant of the main guy there, Johnny Peril. And he's like, yes, we have many magical things here. And she goes up to like a blank looking wall and remarks, what's this pattern? As if there's supposed to be something on the wall. But there isn't. So I'm calling that an art mistake. Anyway, she opens up the thing with the goo that has the map, and they look at it, and it's like, oh, this has something to do with the black diamond. Also, there was a guy named Eclipso, and something, all hell would break loose. So then the black goo, as it attaches to the wall, undoes a spell, and it allows them to see through the wall to the other side where the black diamond's being kept. And there's some guards that are all poised with their guns at it because it's starting to glow. And Catwoman's like, well, that's my cue. And Darwin, bless his little heart, is like, what happened to the other lady? So they make their way into the room without the guards noticing. The guards are like, we should start shooting this thing. And Catwoman's talking to Darwin like, hey, I'm going to need something here to, like, attack them. What can you, or better yet, like, is there anything here that I could even just steal instead of Black Diamond? And he just spends 2 full pages listing off everything that's in this place. And Catwoman's like, that's dumb. I don't want that. So then the guys are like, all right, open fire. This thing's starting to glow too much. And they start shooting the vault with the black diamond in it. It starts ricocheting off. And then they spend another page and a half going over again all of the things that Darwin listed off. Except now it's, oh, the bullet broke the case to that thing I mentioned before. So Catwoman busts in. She starts kicking the heads of these guys, taking them all down. One of the books opens up and starts bringing a demon off the page into life. One of them, I want to make sure I get his name right, is the arm of the famed Irish boxer Dan Donnelly. So yeah, anyway, Catwoman takes out all the guards and she starts to look a little bit vicious here and gets like some pointy ears and stuff as well. And Darwin's like, you seeming a little bit evil right now. And she's like, yeah, well, shut up. She goes over to the vault, the safe with this thing, starts trying to hack its way in, and she's unable to do so. And she's like, oh, I have no patience for this. I really wish I could just slice my way in. And then this sword just appears in her hand, and she's like, this will work. And so she slices open the vault, and she finds the black diamond. And then, for some reason completely unrelated, the arm of that boxer punches out the demon that was appearing from the book. 3.5. Honestly, that feels high to me, but 3.5, and that's only because despite the absolute nonsensical nature of the story, I was still able to get what they were going for. It took me 2 reads. I had to actually reread this, but it wasn't good. Like, I didn't think you could make an issue entirely made of filler. Like, at some point you had to do something. But quite literally, the only thing that mattered out of that whole issue was she got the diamond on the last panel. That's it. Everything else into that, like, why did we have Darwin? Why do we have all these magical objects? Why are we in this vault? Doesn't matter. At least it doesn't feel like it does. Maybe next issue, some of it will turn out to actually matter. But honestly, I doubt it. So as of now, 3.5.